Hey guys, this is my ACT therapy presentation, and ACT stands for Acceptance and Commitment Therapy. And let's get started. So to start, there is a few core purposes of ACT, but the first is to enable clients to be present in their emotions and thinking. This is being present in the session, but also continuing this outside of the process. I mean, outside of the therapeutic process. The second is disarming negative thinking patterns that the client may be having, um, creating an accepting and vulnerable environment for clients to work through these thoughts and emotions that they're coming in with, and establishing client goals and values, as this is important for the client, but also for social workers, making person-centered interventions that can help with their well-being. And then finally, creating a commitment to the therapeutic process for social workers using ACT and also the client who is being ACT. You get it. So how is this used in our practices? Social workers will use ACT to assist in helping the development of clients' psychological flexibility to then use as a coping skill. They do this by guiding clients through mindfulness exercises. This can be role plays. This can just be by explaining some activities as we've seen all semester. The next would be working on acceptance strategies to embrace difficult thoughts and emotions without judgment from the social worker and also the client themselves. Assisting clients in clarifying their core values and setting meaningful, achievable goals aligned with those values. They can also be called SMART goals. Then finally, reducing avoidance behaviors by Nermswitz. So ACT is effective for clients dealing with anxiety, depression, trauma, or chronic stress, as it empowers the client to live more personal, fulfilling lives despite the ongoing difficult conflicts that the individual is facing. Um, just that is essentially just effective across the board, but it's always important as social workers to make sure that the clients are wanting to use this practice, as it may not work for everyone. So the role play that we'll be watching today is with my client Tessa, who has been diagnosed with OCD since the age of 8 and is currently 23. So she's been with this diagnosis for a while. She has been meeting with me, the social worker, for about 3 months and has established a trusting and some rapport with the social worker. Tessa describes herself as a very type A individual who is ready to hit the floor running. She's eager for any homework that the therapist might assign and is very motivated to the therapeutic process. The social worker and the client collaborated together, and the client brought that they would like using ACT in the future session, which is the one that we will be watching today. The session will be mainly focused on establishing the client's values and beginning the process of ACT. And this will be through some psychoeducation and just working with Tessa to manage her OCD behaviors. So the chosen approach and target interventions would be to mainly continuing to enable the client's autonomy by having them lead the session in the driver's seat. It's also leaning on the client's strengths of being highly motivated and open to the ACT process by guiding them in establishing homework to meet their goals. I will use probing and open-ended questions to establish the client's goals and values. And then finally, integrating some psychoeducation on mindfulness practice and the ACT theories. And that's all I have. Thanks for watching.